Yo, 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 what is going on, everybody? Gabriel Santos here. And in today's video, I want to share with you a story from several years ago. I forget the actual year. Um, but this story is about one of the most groundbreaking insights I had as it pertains to my experience with marijuana addiction and really what was the beginning of true empowerment, not just with marijuana, but with myself. And when I say empowerment with marijuana, what I mean by that is realizing that I have a choice and realizing that I have a say, okay? And that doesn't mean I always, you know, I always made the healthy choice, but at the very least, I was clear that I was the one at the steering wheel of my life, whether it was going well or not going well, whether I was using weed healthy or using weed toxic. This story is about the insight that I realize I'm the one that has the choice, and that if it's going good or going bad, I'm the one that's the choosing either way. Okay. And the intention with this video is to hopefully help you realize that if your life is going well or it's going blah or it's not going so well, you, me, we are at the cause of that. All right. So I want to say this was like 2017, maybe 2016. I feel like it was 2017. Um, and I was still very stuck in it, like disempowerment, right? You can say addiction, but I would call it disempowerment. And what I mean by disempowerment is like I didn't know. I First of all, I couldn't create the results I wanted in my life. I read a ton of books, I watched a ton of videos, I attended a ton of seminars, yet for some reason I couldn't get the results I was looking for. And I was in this perpetual cycle of, like, having consistency for a month and then falling off for 6 months and then getting back on for a month and falling off for 6 months. And you know if a person does that enough times, you start to wonder, like, is this even possible? And it's easy to create this story of I don't know how to do it. The point being is there were certain results that I always wanted in my life, and I had never really reached them. Okay. Including an addictive and heavily dependent relationship to marijuana. Okay. And so, in an act of desperation, I attended a program called the Landmark Forum. And some of you may have heard of it, some of you haven't. But the gist is that it's yet again another personal development seminar slash workshop. I was a little hesitant to go because this company has a shaky reputation amongst my family. And if you do some research on the internet, you'll find some people who really love it and really abide by it, and some people who really think it's like culty and blah, blah, blah. Put that all aside, and let's move on with the story, okay? So, I was in this workshop. It's 3 days long, and it's different than other seminars I was attending. It wasn't just about telling you what to do, giving you advice, giving you tools. It was really 3 days in which somehow or another I was basically, I don't want to say forced, but I was asked, sometimes very confrontingly, to really take ownership of my life. And the one thing that I had to take a look at was the story. the story I was running in my head. And that story I was running in my head up until that time was, oh my God, why the frick can't I get through this weed addiction? What's wrong with me? No matter what I do, I can't break free. It's so hard. What's wrong with me? I'm hopeless. I'm a mess. This is impossible. I don't even know what to do. This is so hard. I'm hopelessly addicted, and no matter what I do, I can't try. I'm fucked up. I fucked up. This is so bad. And a lot of that. Okay, and so not only was there a story, right? But there was this overall energy and overall emotion that was completely dominating my life. And I didn't realize that I was playing this tape in my head. Because you play a tape in your head long enough and you listen to it long enough and you find evidence for it in your past and in your future, it's easy to be like, this is who I am. This is true. Right? But what I saw for the first time that weekend was that it's just like a tape playing in my head. And I was the one choosing to listen to it. And I was the one choosing to perpetuate it. And it's crazy because it's like, oh my God, for the first time I realized I'm the one choosing to stay in this loop. Choosing to stay in this loop. Not to say that I immediately got out of the loop, but I, for the first time, saw that I was the one doing this over and over. It's kind of like saying, it's like, God, I don't know why this thing is in my hand still. Why is it still in my hand? Why? And I didn't realize that I was the one holding it. Because I was so lost and removed from reality that I was stuck in a story. Stuck in my head. And my head was the one playing the story and dictating my actions and keeping me holding this. And I'm like, God, I'm such an addict. I keep holding this thing. Why can't I stop holding it? Right? And it's a little more complex than that, right? Like an addictive relationship is more complex than that. But at the end of the day, it was like I got so clear. I was like, oh, I'm the one that keeps holding it. Huh. Right? And my whole point is that for the first time, I realized that I was the one that kept, doing the same things over and over again. And that addiction wasn't who I was. That is not me, right? I am not the story called addiction. But what happens is you run that cycle, 100 times, 1,000 times, and it does become who you are, right? And it just connected these dots like, holy shit, I have a say. And I think what happened was it removed a lot of shame. Not to say that there wasn't shame to be dealt with, but I stopped. I for the first time in years, maybe ever up until that point, there was the story called addiction, and then there was me outside of it. And my ability to do something differently. And I can't really explain how this workshop helped me see that. All I know is it's what I saw. It's what I recognized. And ever since that realization, barring a couple setbacks, so to speak, um, I got so clear that if I fell into a state of addiction or dependence, it's because I was running my day, running my life and my behaviors and my thoughts and my story in such a way that had me act in a way of addiction or dependence. But it wasn't like this thing where it's like, oh, I am addiction, I am addicted. No, I'm operating in a way of addiction. I'm operating in a way that's dependent, but I also have the choice to operate in a way that's responsible and operate in a way that's different. Um, so just for the first time ever, I realized that, I could either choose to act and behave in a way that aligns with addiction, or I can choose and act in a way that aligns with responsibility. And ever since that point, it was a process of repetition, because I for sure still had many, many moments of acting, in ways of addiction and dependence, but I also had many, many ways in which, many, many times in which I acted, with discipline and responsibility and what have you. And so, hopefully, this video or my story and my experience gave you some insight. And I think what I just want to say to cap this off is I get it, man. I get how fucking disempowering and shitty being stuck is like, being disempowered is like. And at the very least, start to adopt the perception and the belief called my life is going because that's how I'm choosing for it to go, right? If you keep going left, it's because you keep turning your body and going left. If you go right, it's because you're turning right. That's all it is. And so if you're perpetuating a cycle called, God, I keep smoking and I don't know why I can't stop, you're indulging in this story and you're indulging in these emotions. And it is a process to get out of that and create something new. And so I'm not saying just because you watch this video and just because you tell yourself, I'm the one who has a say in how my life goes, that automatically things get better. But at the very least, start to take full ownership of the fact that if you want your life to go better, you could make it better. But if you're not going to make it better, then you're not going to make it better. It's like, look, and I get it. It's like sometimes you don't have the energy. Okay. Then just acknowledge that, like, oh, I didn't take action. Instead, I decided to rest. And then in terms of how do you get it done next time, it's like, okay, either I have to push through my low energy, or I have to find a way to do it when I, figure out when I do have energy. Then it becomes a game of, logic and formula and tactic. Anyways, I'll cut that for now. Hopefully this video was helpful. Sometimes I don't know what video topics to make and things like that, because I feel like I've made so many and I keep kind of beating a dead horse. But hopefully this video found you well. And yeah, appreciate you all, love you all. I'll see you on the next video. Peace.